Hey guys, it's Mrs. Hannon. We're skipping review 2 because we actually did that one in class together. So we're going to go to review 3 now. This is solving equations. So let's go over your steps. The first thing you're going to do is distribute to get rid of any parentheses. Next, we are going to combine like terms on each side of the equals. If there are variables on both sides of the equal sign, use opposite operations to move the smaller variable. And then here we're going to use opposite operations to move the constant. And then the last thing is opposite operations to move the coefficients. All right, so let's take a look at some of these questions. Okay, how about number 1? So always we want to start by putting like a line down our equal sign. So I'm going to do that first. Okay. All right. Okay, so on number 1, we're going to distribute the 4. Okay, so the 4 is going to come into both. So we get 4x minus 36 equals negative 16. So make sure you check, make sure you had that first step done correctly. Let's look for like terms. Okay, so on the left, we have an x, we have not x, so that's not going to be like terms. On the right, we only have the negative 16, so no like terms there either. Number 3, do we have an x on both sides? Nope. And number 4, move the constant. So the constant on this one is the 36. The opposite operation would be to add it. Okay, so 4x equals 20. And now we're going to move the coefficient. The coefficient is 4, so we're going to divide by 4. So x equals 5. All right, let's skip over to number 3 so I don't have to scroll down. Let's look through each step. So step number 1, do we have parentheses? No. Step number 2, do we have like terms? So on the left, I have the 2x and the 4. Those are not like terms. On the right, I have the negative 9 and the x, not like terms. Step number 3, do we have an x on both sides? Yes. So we're going to move the smaller x, which would be the 1x on the right. So we're going to minus that. So now I'll get x minus 4 equals negative 9. Okay, because 2x minus x leaves me with just 1x, and I can just write that as x. Okay, next we'll move the constant. So we're going to add 4. And then since I didn't write the 1 on the x, I don't have a coefficient that I need to divide. But if I did, I would just divide by 1 and I'd still get negative 5. All right, number 2. Let me get my line extended a bit. Okay. All right, so let's do our parentheses first. So we're going to distribute the negative 8. Keep your 3x minus 5. And on the right, we're distributing the negative 8 to get negative 48 minus 40x. Okay, step 2 is combining like terms. We don't have any on this one that are on the same side of the equals as each other. Step number 3 is to move the smaller x. That would be my negative 40, so I'm going to add it. So 43x minus 5 equals negative 48. Move the constant, which is the negative 5. And divide by 43. So our final answer is negative 1. If you are not getting these correct, one reason may be your positives and negatives. So always be really, really careful when you are trying to, for instance, on this step, adding these two numbers together, just be really careful if you're making mistakes on those. And you can use a calculator, so you can check all of your work as you go. Okay? All right, let's go to number 4. Distribute the -3. So we get -3 minus 18x. Do we have like terms? No. Do we have x's on both sides? Yes. The -18 is actually smaller, so I'm going to add the 18x. And remember, the point of moving the smaller variable is to keep the x as a positive number, okay? Because like I was just saying, a lot of times people make mistakes when they have negatives. So adding the smaller x just ensures that we have a positive value on our x. Okay, we're going to move the constant next, so that's the 14. And then we're going to divide by the coefficient, which is 17. So we get -1. All right, when you are ready, we are going to go to the next page. All right, let's look at number 5. One truck rental company charges an initial fee of $15 plus $8 per hour the truck is rented. Another company charges an initial fee of $40 plus $3 per hour the truck is rented. After how many hours will the cost of the two companies be the same? Set up an equation and solve. Okay, notice I bolded and underlined set up an equation and solve because I know that there are other ways to figure out the answer, but they are asking us specifically to set up an equation. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you to write down what you put as your equation, and then we will continue. All right, so what you should have hopefully had was the first company, 15 plus $8 per hour. The hours are going to be my x, so that's 8x. My second company is 40 plus $3 per hour. And since I want to know when these are going to be the same, that means I want them to be equal. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and solve this equation. All right, so my smaller x is the 3. I'm going to minus that. So 15 plus 5x equals 40. We're going to minus the 15. 5x equals 25. Divide by 5. So x equals 5 hours. All right, moving on to number 6. This is more solving equations, all right? And I can tell by looking at number 6, we're going to have all 5 steps on this one. All right, so first thing we want to do is distribute to get rid of any parentheses. So we're going to take this 2 in. So that gives me negative 4k plus 10k minus 12. Keep the other side the same. Step number 2 is combining like terms. So if I notice here, I have 2k values on the left. So I want to put those together. That's going to give me 6k. All right, step number 3, do I have k's on both sides? Yes, I want to move the smaller k. So we're going to add 3k to both sides. 9k minus 12 equals negative 39. Move the constant, so we're going to add 12. So 9k equals negative 27. Divide by 9, k equals negative 3. All right, number 7, simplify. First thing we want to do here is we need to distribute the minus sign. So this minus actually makes each and everything on the right into the opposite sign, okay? So our 4x minus 3y plus 1 is going to be the same. On the right, I'm going to get minus 2x minus 5y plus 2. All right, so now I'm combining like terms. All right, let's start with our x's. We have a 4 and we have a -2. Make sure you don't lose that minus on the 2. That gives me 2x. Okay, I have my y's. -3, -5 is -8. And I have my constants. +1, +2 is +3, and I am done. Okay, last one, number 8. Simplify and connect them to the equivalent expression. Okay, so we're going to start by simplifying everything. Okay, go ahead and simplify a. All right, so let's look. We have our two x values. -3, +5 is 2x. We have our constants. -3 and +2 is -1. All right, let's go to the next one. We have -4x times 5. That's -20x. Okay, on C, we have 8x minus 4x. That's 4x. We have +8, -2. That's +6. Okay, and letter D, we're distributing the 5, so we get 10x minus 15. All right, let's go over to the other side. Number 1, distributing the 2, 4x plus 6. That connects to C. Number 2, we're going to put together the -8 and the -7 since they're both constants. So that's -15 connects to D. Number 3, 2 times -10 is -20x. That is here, B. And the last one, half of 4 and half of 2. So 2x minus 1, and that connects to A.